The following program may contain strong language. All of the comments and opinions expressed do not reflect the views of anyone but those making said comments. If you decide to continue listening to this program, it is assumed that you are not easily offended and have a broad sense of humor. Now that all that's out of the way, enjoy! Okay, hello everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome, episode 5 of the Mike and Billy Show. Back once again, Mike Wendt.
Billy Finnegan. I think I'm going to be, it's episode 5.
Episode 5.
Pentastash.
Go on.
That's awful.
Go on.
I'll be the stashident, because I'll tell you this.
With what?
The stashident, as an accident, as in 95 North last night.
Oh.
Here I am. Heading out to my girlfriend's grandfather's wake.
Uh-huh.
It was a trying time, obviously. A very sad moment. So I'm heading out there, and as we all know, Monday was the faithful going to Foxborough. So, of course, 95.
Monday Night Football, right.
95 is just jam-packed, and it's raining, so obviously everyone, panics in New England because It's not like we've seen rain or snow or other cars on the road. So I'm about to take the exit. There's 495 right there. Gonna go down to Taunton. Gonna do my thing. I'm dressed really nice, I'm ready. I'm in the somber mood,
Yeah.
And there's the brake lights ahead, so I put my foot on the brakes.
Sure.
And right from behind, boom!
Oh.
Nice.
And your car is relatively new, isn't it?
It's, oh my God, 3 months. 4 months maybe?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I haven't had a new car ever. I've always gotten, it's not a new car, it's a 2010, but still. I've never had a new car.
Shiny.
It's shiny. It's got 40,000 miles on it.
Sure.
I'm very happy with it. But now, my bumper's barely on.
Ugh.
And of course, it was a young female who
Tweeting.
I'm sure I didn't come out and ask her this, but you don't assume things, but some things it's just like.
But you do.
Especially this day and age.
Yeah, you do.
These wonderful teens that we've bred. Absolutely.
You can't help but assume, though. Even if it wasn't a teen, even if it wasn't a teenage girl, it would just be like anybody in this day and age. That's almost the first thing that goes to your head in situations
tweeting
like that.
Tweeting or texting or Facebook or something. I've never.
There's been fender benders since the invention of the car,
right?
But now we have a lot more excuses for why they are.
But we're also talking stop and go traffic.
Sure.
How is it that you're traveling at a mere 5 miles an hour, not even
drugs?
But
I only speak from experience.
Yes.
I had back in probably the early 2000s. It must have been 2002, maybe 2003. I had a Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
My favorite car I've ever owned.
Wrangler,
I loved
really?
it. It ran great. It was clean. It was nice. It didn't have a huge back seat, so nobody really wanted to ride with me. It was excellent.
I love that.
And I was on Route 1, heading home. I had done a full day of work, and I was heading home for literally like 20 minutes before I went to my second job for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And I'm on Route 1. It's like 5:30, bumper to bumper, same thing, creeping along in the left lane.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, smash from the rear passenger side, and I get pushed in a 180, so my car is now facing the wrong direction, and then I'm pushed all the way to the breakdown lane.
Wow, you must have been hit. You must have been going pretty fast doing that.
I sit there, I'm covered in glass.
Oh.
I have no idea what the hell just happened, because literally I was barely moving. It was bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
So you don't even have your foot on the gas. It's just
that's the
off
thing.
The brake,
that's the thing, and you
brake.
don't even put your foot on the gas when you're in bumper to bumper.
And I'm sitting there, I'm brushing the glass out of my hair, trying to get, compose myself. I was fine. I didn't get hurt or anything. Yeah. And this fucking kid staggers up to the passenger side window, peers in all bug-eyed and go, "What happened?" I fucking lost it. I popped out of the fucking Jeep. I was going to kill him.
Yeah.
I was screaming, cursing. And before I knew it, I had an arm wrapped around me, pulling me back. It was a witness. It was somebody who had seen what had happened, pulled over, and the guy goes, "Look, I'm a lawyer. You don't really want to do this," and basically was taking me aside talking. I wasn't hearing much about anything.
Yeah,
I continued screaming, and the kid was just kind of he. The best way to put it, especially in this day and age, was he looked like a zombie from The Walking Dead. He just he was kind of just, swaying, shuffling, had a dead eyes look in his head.
Oh my God.
Clearly just fucking pilled out of his goddamn head. And so finally the guy who was restraining me was able to, calm me down for him. Obviously there was no physical altercation.
Yeah.
I didn't get that close to the guy.
Thank God that guy got there.
And so we calmed down, and not only did he hit me, but in the process of that, he took 2 other cars out with it.
Was the witness there? Was he one of the cars, or did he just?
No, he pulled over.
Okay.
He was behind. So and what he said was, because he was behind the guy who hit everybody. Basically, he was just weaving in and out of cars,
Jesus.
in and out of cars, and then just kind of said he made like a loop almost from the middle lane to the left lane, hit me, and took out 2 other cars with it and pushed us all to the breakdown lane.
How do you have that ability to do that, especially on like Route 1? Anywhere,
yeah, I mean, and it's right by it was right by the Revere Cinemas. Is right where it was.
Holy shit!
So
that's a tight area.
Exactly, and everybody's trying to get on or off, and it's a mess, especially at that hour, and so the cops come and the tow trucks come, and they're figuring out who can drive the cars home, who needs to be towed home, what happened. This kid's just sitting on the curb rocking back and forth, and I'm just like, really?
Did they even arrest the kid or anything?
I don't know. I was sent home at that point. He was still on the curb rocking at that point. I think he did. I mean, the car was my Jeep was totaled, but
oh my God.
Oh, I was so pissed.
But that's the thing,
because it was like I said, it was the best car I had, not just a favorite, because I'm not a car guy. I don't really have a favorite car, but it never gave me a problem. All my other cars have always given me problems. Yeah. This is wrong, that's wrong. Every time you bring it in, it costs you $600.
Yep.
This was just regular maintenance, and it was running fine. And the fucking thing got folded in half. It was one of those moments where it's like, this is why I'm not allowed to have nice things. This is God coming down.
Thou shalt not have nice things.
You will not enjoy this nice thing. I'm going to take it away from you. So,
I mean, obviously that's the risk you take when you drive, but the fact that with a lot of these younger people driving, that the fear is not instilled in them. It's just, freedom. Open road, here we go, and plus the fact that most of them are riddled with ADD. Right. Their minds are just completely wandering. Just pay attention to what's going on. You're driving a 2-ton vehicle that can kill someone and yourself, and instead it's more important to text or to, and especially,
like I said, there's been fender benders since the invention of the car, and that was long before the days of having 18 electronic screens in front of you.
But most of these, the other thing that I just don't understand is most of these kids especially have smartphones. If you really, really need to text someone that badly, most of them have the little microphone button that you can just audibly give a text.
More and more in this day and age are being able to sync up.
Yeah, so you can sync your phone to your car.
Make your car basically your phone. You can 100% voice activate it. I know. I got a couple of friends. I know Ford is, at least the two Fords that I've been in, have been really good about working with the phones, and they sync them up. They can basically voice activated. When you send a text, it speaks the text to you, and then you can respond. A button on the steering wheel.
Yep.
Like you said, a microphone button right there on the wheel, and you speak your response. Or there's automated responses that if you can set up when you're in the car, I'm driving or something like that. Yeah. There was one night I got into like a half an hour texting argument with my buddy's car because it was just all automated responses. And then I didn't know I thought he was just fucking with me because I didn't know it was his car.
Yeah.
And then he finally gets home, and I'm like, what were you doing? He's like, oh, that was just automated responses from my car. I'm like, oh, cool. And I had never seen it before. So I'm like, oh, cool, let me see. So we go down to the car, and I start texting, and you hear, boom, you're a fucking retard. I'm like, this is awesome.
But, like, that's the other thing is I can remember right now, as of this moment, if you flip around on your television, there's probably a commercial with Peyton Manning on it. And he's riding in his car. He's like, text so and so, and it's like blah 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 blah, and it's like, you know, get me the recipe for this. I mean, he says it all in like football lingo, but you know, the car is doing all this stuff. You're telling me that you can't, you know, you can't have that. First of all,
there's no reason you should have to.
No,
there's absolutely no reason. I mean, there just isn't. I can't, and I've done it. I think everybody's done it. If you have a smartphone, you've absolutely sent a text in the car. I don't care what your name is or how great of a driver you say you are. Everybody has sent at least one text while in the car.
Yep.
And because we have that false sense of security that we've built over years and years of driving and texting and all that shit. And but there's no reason. Like you said, he's saying get recipes. Really, you're driving, bro.
Yeah.
Do you really need to get an apple pie recipe while you're?
Hey, you never know. Okay,
right,
you could be a hungry person there. You really maybe you're running late, and you can't remember how many eggs you needed for it.
Sure. So buy a dozen. I think you'll be covered. You know what? You're Peyton Manning. I think you can afford 2 dozen. Grab 2.
You're Peyton Manning. I think you could probably afford to just have a cook.
Seriously,
you ain't cooking shit.
It's amazing.
But yeah, so that was my adventure from last night. But the worst of it was here I am being responsible, and I open up the glove box and out pops. I'm going to get my registration.
Sure.
Out pops this like really cool, very handy accident reporting card.
Okay.
And so it tells you everything, you know, in case you didn't know what to get exactly.
It's like a cheat sheet.
It's exactly. So I'm filling this out, mind you, with a really bad pen to do this, so water droplets are coming down. And I'm like, oh man, I hope I can read this tomorrow. And I'm still like furious about this, but I'm trying not to freak out on this girl. And I was like, all right, so what's your insurance? She tells me the insurance, and then like, what's your license number and all that stuff, and she's running back to get it, and I'm like,
isn't it on there on the bumper, man?
Yeah, it's like you can't obviously she's never been in an accident because she's not prepared for this. She's just kind of there, and so then after all is done, I finally get everything, you know, written out, and I kind of go, you know, hey, are you all right? And there wasn't much damage to her car.
Sure.
And so I'm like taking pictures and doing all of the responsible stuff, and I feel just the pat on the back. Well, hey, I'm really sorry about this. Don't you dare pat me on the back.
It was a girl?
It was her.
Oh.
Don't pat me on the back for your fuck up.
Seriously.
I mean, you know, I understand it's an awkward situation, but you don't need to patronize me for it.
It's not that the apology isn't wanted or warranted. And I know exactly what it is, because when you're in that situation, like you said, you're trying to just, you know, get everything done, and you're internally, you're screaming like you're on fire.
Oh, you're bouncing off the walls,
everything in, and it's just don't fucking talk to me. Give me my thing. Let me get on my way. Let me get done with this night so I can get into a dark room, have a drink, and do some scream therapy and get this fucking thing over with.
Absolutely.
Because that's all it is.
All of my organs at this point at this point in time are just bouncing off the walls. Like I just want to. I want to hit something.
It's one of those moments where you're just like, if I open my mouth to you, I will regret every word I say.
Absolutely.
Because it's just pure hatred that's going to be spewing from me at this very moment.
And it's, you know, everyone's had that issue. Because I'll absolutely...
Everybody gets angry. It happens.
Right. But absolutely everyone's also had that thought. Because even if you're in the accident,
right,
and the old comedic standby is, you get out of the car, no matter what, even if you were in the accident, what the fuck did you do that for?
Right.
Why'd you let me hit you? Like, but everyone's pissed off because it's taking you completely out of your reality.
And it's such an inconvenience, and it's not just the inconvenience of the moment in time that you're there. You're seeing in the future, you're seeing repairs, you're seeing possible needing a rental car. It's
Right.
like, you have just really fucked up my week.
Right. I was having a fine week. I mean, granted, yes, I'm heading to a sad place, but now you just took. I'm in my state of mind.
Sure.
Where I need to be.
Right.
And I know where I have
You're
to
in
be.
a very tranquil state,
Very
heading
tranquil,
to a wake.
heading to a wake. And now you've just got me with this.
And you just
Plus
threw
the fact,
my world into a blender.
You just threw it into
Literally.
you literally just took it and just threw it into a blender and just like hit frappe. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I don't want to be digested by a Tostito here. Right. Like, what's going on? Why do I have to be here? So yeah, it's just not good, not fun. I like to stay at a level pace, and that just shot me off. I was like a Maine earthquake.
So I guess you didn't see the game last night.
No, but it doesn't matter.
You didn't see the big Monday night football game?
No, but I know you did because you got no NHL to watch.
Oh, I know.
42 to 14? 45? 42,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess the Patriots really kick some ass.
Even not being a football fan, you could kind of
I don't
get
know.
that.
I watched it. I'm not a football fan. That's not a big secret. But it really was. It was
For those of you who don't know, Mike's not a football fan.
Yeah, I just flipping around, and I'm like, all right, because it was supposed to be Bruins and Red Wings last night.
Oh, that would have been a great.
And it was an
fun
evening game. They're
matchup.
in Detroit, so the game would have started basically the same exact time the Patriots game started. It would have been around 8:30.
Yep.
And I'm like, God damn! And I DVR Monday Night Raw because I can't sit through all the commercials and bullshit for 3 hours. I just can't. I'll watch it every week, but I'll watch it with a fast forward button.
I know. It's fine.
So it was like really the only alternative. And I had already, me and the girl we had watched Family Guy, we had watched American Dad, we had watched Dexter. We were pretty much out of shit to watch. She's not a big Homeland fan. It's a bit too intense for that time of night.
I haven't even gotten
her.
into that show, so
I love it. I think it's a great show, but it's a very intense show.
Yeah.
And it's a little intense for her dinner hour.
Okay.
That sort of thing. So, and according to Facebook, every single person I knew was at the game.
Really?
It's amazing how many.
I guess they were handing out tickets to everyone.
Apparently.
Except for me, because I was on 95 North getting hit, and you missed the call, but you wouldn't have even gone anyway.
No,
so.
absolutely not. I wouldn't have. I don't like good times.
He's not a fun-loving guy.
But it's funny because this morning, after like big football games, it's always funny to see people with fantasy football.
Yeah.
And when I lived with one of my buddies, he's really big into it. And he gets a group of guys together. They all do the fantasy football. And it was actually the guy whose wedding I was talking about in, I think, episode 1 or 2.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And we were talking at the wedding about it because I guess all the guys have kind of gotten their girlfriends and wives into it as well. And the girls are kind of doing better than the guys because they don't.
So they really want to live out the league.
It's basically like that. It really is. And they're not doing it because actually a lot of them haven't even watched the show. They're just doing it because it's it's something to do, and you got your chick involved, and it's something you guys do together.
Yeah, it's a couples thing, I guess.
Sure.
Now. Yeah.
But the girls seem to be kicking ass a lot better than the guys are, which is funny because they're halfway not picking, like they don't care.
Well, I think the girls, especially for that type of thing, unless they're really into football, like I know a lot of girls that are really into football, but guys, especially guys who are doing fantasy football, they overthink a lot of things and they're trying to strategize.
Very serious.
But those girls, they probably just know names. They know the names of guys, and they say, "Oh, I know that this guy's supposed to be good." And so it's kind of like a beginner's luck kind of.
Right.
And with fantasy football, the more you think, the more you lose. That's really my experience.
I don't know. I've never been that.
Well, because I've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years. Yeah, and I do it with friends and stuff.
Okay.
And I mean, it's not like my whole world doesn't collapse if I lose at fantasy football.
See, because he used to scream like somebody was murdering his child.
Yeah. See, I can't get that into it.
I remember I used to sit in the apartment, and he'd be in his room, and I would be in the living room watching TV. and I'd hear just guttural screams.
Just primal. Like,
and I'd walk in, and I'd look at him.
Like you just stepped on a Lego.
And he's got the TV on football, and he's got, World of Warcraft on his computer, and I'm like, which one are you screaming about? He's like, a fucking football game. And I'm like, and I look up, and it would be like Seattle against Denver. And I'm like, what? The Patriots aren't playing.
Yeah.
He goes, but I'm a fantasy. I'm like, that's why I can't do it. Because I've been asked a couple times if I wanted to do fantasy hockey. And I couldn't bring myself to need to cheer for other teams. I'd do fantasy hockey if I could have the Bruins.
Right.
Just the whole Bruins team.
Well,
because that's the only team I give a shit about winning.
Well, you technically could. However, with the teams thing, I don't know why you'd root for the team. You root for the individual. But I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying because
it's like I remember people back when they were playing hockey. People would do fantasy hockey, and it's like somebody would score against the Bruins, and you'd see a Facebook post, "Oh, that sucks, but I got 3 points." I'm just like, you're a fucking asshole right now.
No, and that's the thing, and for me, watching the game, I like a lot of different teams. I would say I would classify myself as a Patriots fan. Fantasy football would take a backseat to, I'd want to see my team win.
Sure.
The guys that are like that, where it's like, oh, they scored on the Bruins, but that's good for me. It's like, no, fuck you, dude. There's a bigger prize here. There's pride.
Like this
There's
morning, a
pride
guy
in your
came into
team.
work, and you would think like he lost every penny he ever had in the stock market. One of those types of really angry. And I'm like, dude, and I know he's in a league that's like, just for fun type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, really, it's a game, guy.
You're not playing it, man. Not Mike.
I don't get it. I could never, and maybe I'm weird. I don't know, but I just couldn't be that invested to the point of like,
well, exactly,
really fucking angry.
Well, and for me too, it's like I understand you guys are putting money down on this. I only put $20 when I join leagues. It's only $20. It's not like I'm spending $100. If I was spending $100, first off, I'd have to think about why I'm spending $100 on a game that I really have no control over. But like if you're only putting down $20 or you're playing for fun and you're that upset, you got your priorities way out of whack, man. Yeah. That's a little too much.
I don't know. It's one of those things I don't think I'll ever understand. And maybe it comes down to, I am by and large a one sport guy.
Which is
hockey,
fine.
I like the Bruins. I'll watch the other sports. I'll go to a Red Sox game every year or something like that.
You're a one-team guy, but you also you're just a hockey guy, and you watch a lot of different games, too.
Sure, absolutely.
And I enjoy watching especially when it was being played, the Winter Classic and a lot of the, obviously the playoffs, because the playoff hockey is probably the best sporting events you could ever watch.
And I enjoy, like, I'll watch if there's 6 games on and I have the time, I'll watch them all. Absolutely.
Oh, they're so much fun. And this is
the only time it really affects me, and almost, watching out of market games is actually kind of refreshing because I can watch hockey and I don't have to put the emotional investment into it. Because if the Bruins lose, I'm destroyed. No, I know. It's going to be a bad day for everybody around me if the Bruins lose. It's just the way I am.
Believe me, I've seen you on a few of those days.
And but when it really comes down to it, like when the last month or so, especially if the Bruins are close and you have to watch all the other division games, and it's like, well, I don't want Toronto to win, but they're playing Montreal, so they better fucking beat Montreal. That type of thing.
Yep.
So
and then you have to, and then
that's where you gotta.
And then the day comes when you actually have to root for the Canucks for some reason, and you're going,
fuck them bunch of crybabies.
But speaking as a newer hockey fan, because I wasn't really a big hockey fan growing up, because it wasn't available. Sure. Still wasn't really it's always been the 4th biggest sport and bastardized sport, but totally it's just more fun, and I could see just watching every game, just as a fan, getting into fantasy, anything else but football. I think it's just too much shit.
I couldn't do it. I really couldn't.
And it just it does ruin games. It ruins the
like I said, even the out of market games. Like I like watching them, but I like watching and being relaxed and enjoying them. If I had something invested in those games, it's like that'd be a lot of stress for me.
Well, it's the same reason why I don't really gamble on games either.
You're going through, like I said, 8, 12 games a night.
Yeah,
that's a lot of. First of all, that's a lot of viewing.
That's a lot of stuff you could be watching on your DVR.
That's a lot of stress.
A lot of Netflix.
God bless you if you can do it, but not my speed, man. No. Although it helps with the now fiance. I got to get used to saying that. I keep saying girlfriend, but I often tell her because when I'm in hockey season, I'm in it.
Yeah,
and it's serious shit.
Well, and she's been with you long enough. I think she knows that.
Like there's been nights. I remember game 4. I want to say it was the year that we swept Montreal in round 1.
That was 2010.
Yeah, 2010, because it was their 100th anniversary, and we swept them. And it was game 4. We were up 3-0 in the series, and I was actually here at work, got all my Bruins stuff on, and I get the call. Oh, somebody offered us luxury box tickets for Bruce Springsteen show tonight. I'm like, oh, that's very nice of them, but I can't go.
You're insane.
I can't go. I'm like,
You're sick.
And she's like, what? I'm like, it's game 4. I need to, I'm gonna be home. I'm gonna be watching this.
You're sick.
Because it was taking place the same time the game was taking place. And
yeah, but luxury box, there's a TV in a luxury box. You usually can.
That would have actually probably been worse. Because I thought of that. Don't think I didn't think of that. But that would have been worse if I had gone and it was, her and her friends or whoever was giving us the tickets. Yeah. And I'm being antisocial, screaming at a TV set.
Okay. Because my next thing was, you got a smartphone, you could just follow it along on ESPN.
Again.
Or you could follow it along. I know, you'd be screaming at your phone. You'd be the real crazy guy. Because at least a TV, someone can see what you're screaming at.
Almost
but
worse.
you got a handheld thing, so you look like you're screaming at yourself.
It would almost be worse.
Or if you're holding it down, you're sitting down, it looks like you're screaming at your dick. It's like, come on! Why can't you score? Why can't you score? Well, it's because you're paying attention to your dick and not the woman next to you.
But yeah, so she's loving the lockout.
Well,
she doesn't like my random fits of grumpiness.
No, because your sanity is, or at least her sanity is definitely.
But she's liking the fact that there's not such a strict viewing schedule around the house.
A strict diet of just NHL. Seriously though, I had said this to you when you posted up the cancellation. It's the 20th, right, or is it the 30th now? Cancellation through the 30th.
They've canceled to the 30th of December.
Up to the 30th. Just kill it off now. Just kill the whole season off. Why keep
honestly,
it going?
I was saying that this morning too, because honestly, I don't want to see a half a champion.
And that's what it's.
I wouldn't want to see. Honestly, I mean, you couldn't honestly. I don't know. I wouldn't feel right about a Stanley Cup champion of a 40-game season.
Those guys that play in that league, and you can see it, and that's the difference, and that's a lot more the respect that I've gained over the years from hockey players who they'll play on anything. They'll play broken bones. They'll play no rest, no nothing. Those guys have so much pride that I don't think they'd want an asterisk next to their Stanley Cup championship. Because that's how it's going to be. Yeah. It's going to be an asterisk, and it's going to say 40-game season.
40-game season.
And like you said, it's basically a half a champion.
Yeah, it is.
If that be the case,
the only consolation. Imagine the eruption of booze when Gary Bettman brings that Stanley Cup out to the ice. I mean, he would need to be in the Pope Mobile.
You know what? It doesn't matter.
He'd be pelted with shit.
It doesn't matter because the next time they do have a Stanley Cup championship and he has
it's going to be the same shit.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many years removed. He's a villain from now until he leaves. He'll be a villain at Starbucks. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I posted on Facebook 20 years ago today he was hired by the NHL.
The worst decision the NHL ever made.
Amazing. It's been 20 years.
And how many times have they been locked out?
3.
You already knew what I was going to ask.
3.
Oh,
They're the only sport to lose an entire season.
Yeah, because baseball still had an abbreviated season when they got locked out.
3 times under him 20 years ago, and I even said on my Facebook, it's like, when we all get our DeLoreans up and running, there's a date that we're all gonna have to meet up at. Fix this lockout problem before it starts.
Pronto. It's like, you know, a lot of people would say, if you had a time machine, what would you do? Go back, kill Hitler, you know, do this, see the birth of Christ. Mike Wendt would be, stop Bettman
get as
from
many
being
people
employed
as possible and just rush them.
Well, it doesn't matter. You could just, all you have to do is get a couple Wiley Bruins fans. You get a couple of Devils fans, or Wings fans, or you know.
I think anybody at this point. I think I could go get the Phoenix Coyotes fans.
You get Tampa Bay Lightning fans. Doesn't matter.
Right.
So someone else that doesn't belong in this sport.
Speaking of time machines, and we kind of touched on this, I think it was last episode. I saw last night that Mattel is selling hoverboards.
No.
Yeah. Like they've manufactured.
Why are we doing this right now?
Why
are we not at Toys R Us right now?
Why are we not getting hoverboards? I'll tell you why, actually.
The hell,
I'll
Mike,
tell you why. Because I did a lot. Because I saw it. I saw just a brief blurb on Facebook, and I went and did a lot of research. I spent like the next 2 hours afterwards.
You're damn right you did a lot of research.
A lot of research.
Because I've been waiting. We got 3 more years here. There ain't going to be any Mayan calendar.
Not yet.
No, 3 more years. I want my damn Cubs World Series, and I want my frigging hoverboard. I don't care about the DeLorean. Don't care. Hoverboard.
Well, what they got Bob Gale, who wrote and produced the trilogy.
Yeah.
And he actually had a couple of prop hoverboards from the movies and brought them in and worked with the special effects team from the movie. Got a lot of really like down to spec details, and to the naked eye looks very good. Looks very nice. Some of the reviews. Now here's what it's supposed to do. It has a speaker built into it to make a whooshing sound.
Oh, that's stupid.
As it, you know, one of those type of things.
Now I'm disinterested.
And it said that it's been made to glide across like level surfaces. And there's some videos of people on a carpet gliding it. And it does theoretically work. You get on a carpet, you put it down, you give it a push, and it slides across the carpet for about 2 feet. So technically it works. It's $130.
Oh, well, there you go. You saved me.
The funny thing was, what caught my attention about the article, what got me really researching is Bob Gale himself, who when the project first started was all pumped up about it. He's like, they're making it exactly like in the movie, right down to every last detail. He posted an open letter on I think the official Back to the Future page saying, "I'm very sorry."
Wow.
Basically saying it's not up to his own standards.
Wow.
And that if you want to throw egg on somebody, throw it on me. Because he came out and it was especially because what he said was, for what it is, it would be great if it was like $70.
Oh, totally.
He says, but $130, and it comes with apparently it comes with like a stand that makes it so when you can set it up on like a shelf and it looks like it's a clear stand, so it looks like it's kind of hovering. Doesn't work because the speaker's in the back, so it's always lopsided and always falling off.
Why even put the speaker in there? Like this, the Star Wars lightsabers kind of ruin, and those you need the sound effects for, but you don't need it for everything.
But it's like I said, it looks nice if you have a shelf with a bunch of movie memorabilia, but
you know what that reminds me of?
$130, man.
That reminds me of
it's a lot.
Lemmy from Motorhead coming out. They had, I forget what label released it. I want to say it was, it wasn't Columbia, but one of the big labels released this giant Motorhead box set, pricing it at $600. A Motorhead box set, which if you're a Motorhead fan, you have all the albums. It's like a re-release, reissue of all these things in one box set. Lemmy came out and said, don't buy the box set. It's not worth the money. It's not. And same thing happened with Radiohead and a few other bands. Because these people, these giant corporations feel the need to completely outprice themselves, you know, with relation to goods. It's like, you know, hey, there's one thing to being a fan, and I'm a fan, and if Mattel came out with an actual hoverboard that actually hovered and not 2 feet on carpet,
right,
and they charged me $130, absolutely pay it.
If they could get the technology to work, absolutely.
But you know what?
Absolutely.
The day that they get that technology to work, because it's going to happen, by the way.
Sure.
It's going to cost like $1,000 or $1,200 or something astronomical.
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous.
And it's just like when they came out with the replica shoes, the Back to the Future shoes last year,
and those were selling for thousands of dollars.
Yeah, thousands of dollars. They only had like what 49,000 or 4,900 of them.
See, that's
something
also
ridiculous.
the problem with stuff like this is they don't mass produce them. Now, I understand that shit's expensive to make.
Yeah,
you know, but if you mass produced it, more people would buy it at a lesser price,
and you'd make your money back.
Make more money. You wouldn't make, like, if you say, okay, we got 100 shoes, we're selling them at $1,000 a piece. You've limited how much you're going to make right then and there.
Right.
Why not mass fucking produce them?
Mass produce it because you're telling me
it doesn't
that
make them any less special. I don't care what anybody says.
You're telling me all those people that, because when those shoes first, when you saw them on the internet, there was a lot of hype around them, a lot of Twitter, a lot of Facebook.
They didn't work, did they? They don't.
No, they don't self lace, and they certainly, if you get them wet, they're not going to dry your shoes.
They just look
like the replica.
Right.
So
great. They're a $50 pair of shoes.
Right.
$100 at tops.
And personally, like if I had those, you know, I'd wear them.
They're ugly as sin, by the way.
They're terrible, but I'd wear them once in a while just to show them off. And then they'd go in a box, and they'd go like, you know, because that for me is my holy trilogy.
They'd go up next to my Scarface humidor. Yeah, exactly. I don't smoke cigars, but it came with the DVD.
Exactly. So, and it's something that you're a fan of, and that for me was my Bible of movies.
Right.
You know, Back to the Future. I wanted to be Michael J. Fox. I would absolutely buy those shoes, but not for something over. I wouldn't even buy it for over $200. Yeah. It's too much money. Way too much money for something that I'm not really going to do anything with.
Right.
But they priced
for
it
a piece of movie memorabilia.
For a piece of memorabilia.
It's, I mean, when you break it down, it's no different than a poster.
Right.
Because it's serving the same purpose. It's a decoration in your house at that point.
Right.
Especially with this fucking hoverboard. I mean, you basically have to lean it up against something and just let it sit there.
Well, especially
because the stand doesn't work.
To move 2 feet on a carpet surface, I'd rather just slide my socks on hardwood floor.
It's like getting a Matchbox car and go, oh, watch this, and give it a push.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And now, when you were saying you can hover 2 feet, are you on the board?
No.
So that's even. And
it doesn't hover. It glides.
No, I understand that it glides.
And no, you're not on it. Like I said, it's just like a Matchbox car. You take it out, you put it on the ground, and you give it a push with your hand.
So not worth it. What's his name? Gale should be absolutely in the right in what he's saying.
Absolutely, and he.
That's a damn shame.
I had a lot of respect for him saying that it was, you know, because he came, like I said, he came out and was very excited about it and was promoting it when they were first making it. And his big complaint was he wanted to apologize to people who went out and bought it based on his
recommendation,
his, you know, signing off on it, you know, his seal of approval.
Wow.
But then he made another video, and this kind of got me thinking too, that he's working with some people to do a, you know, one-to-one complete restoration of a DeLorean.
Oh, jeez.
And it looks great. He's like, this is going to be, you know, A+.
Yeah, but what's his reputation at right now?
Well, and watching it, it's like he's working with, you know, a lot of car, and they're really getting specific with all the little details. And he showed a video of even like the fusion cap, you know,
cool.
on screen, and just right down to every fine little detail. But again, if they could get a car company behind it, mass produce these fucking things.
Well,
who wouldn't drive a DeLorean?
Didn't they just come back out with the DeLorean not too long ago, just for, you know, shits and giggles?
They very well could have. I'm not 100%.
But there's a lot of fans out there that they've made their own DeLoreans and they look fantastic, you know, and something like that, yeah, especially if it's workable. If you can actually use it in everyday life, if it's an actual car that you can use, priced somewhat reasonably, and looks like the DeLorean, I can understand still getting that.
Right.
But to go back to the hoverboard, it's like $130 for something that just glides. It's
but
just
the problem again,
it.
even with the car, is if they did make it, it'd be $100,000 car.
Oh, totally.
And they'd make like 10 of them.
And that's the other thing. Like, what's the point in doing that? You can't even tell me you're going to make your money back.
Just so fucking what? So Kanye can have a DeLorean.
Because that's the only person.
Those are the people that would have it.
That's the only person that's going to buy. Hell, when they came out with the shoes, I think it was mainly rappers and basketball players were buying those shoes because they're the only ones that could afford the damn things.
Right. And they're ridiculous. And here, look at this. This is the video of it. I wish we had some audio of this, but
so this is the other one.
This is the hoverboard.
This is the one that you're telling me about.
This is the $130 one that you can buy. Like I said, it looks nice. But but apparently it's really heavy due to the speaker. It's lopsided as all shit. It doesn't work on the stand. But I mean, it is a hoverboard.
It does look just like it, just from a quick eye view.
But this is what it does. That's it gliding across a table. You can't sit on it. You can't, stand on it, whatever. It's literally just...
And then, of course, they just include, just to tease you a little bit more, they include still photos of Michael J. Fox riding it in number 2. It's like, congratulations for putting all this work into a useless prop.
Yeah, I mean, it's a toy. And it's not even a toy because
technically
it lacks function.
Technically, it was a toy in Back to the Future 2, but this is subpar toy.
But it lacks function, so it's literally, and like I said, if you have a display where you have a lot of movie props and stuff, cool.
Well, if you got
$130 to spend on it,
you know what that is honestly for, and this is what scares me. What that looks like, it's gearing up for Back to the Future reboot. Starring Justin Bieber.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't you?
That's what it looks like.
I can't wait. First in line. I'm going to camp out for that one.
Okay, camp out. I'm going to camp out I'm going to camp out so I can shoot everyone who lines up behind me. And ever since that movie came out, there's always been the talk of hoverboards, and there's always been the talk of the what ifs. What if the Cubs won the World Series in 2015 against Miami, which could be a possibility.
They got Epstein in Chicago.
Very possible. And there is a Miami team. And there is a Miami team. However,
they're not the Gators, but
it's all right. I'll still take it. But because bored in the overnights, looking up YouTube videos.
Sure.
There are videos of people actually putting together hoverboard type, prototypes that their main goal is to be able to actually float a person on these things. Some of them, they have the ability to do it now. They can't go far of a distance, but they have the technology. And for Mattel to put out a piece of shit like that, almost like spitting in the face of these people that are actually look like they're trying to better society by giving us a damn hoverboard.
Yeah, but come on, they $130.
I just want my hoverboard, Mike. I want my fucking hoverboard
coming out right
I've waited
now,
long enough.
Conveniently right before Christmas.
Yeah,
damn well they're going to sell a bunch of those things.
Well,
now if they had actual technology behind it, it would be over $1,000.
Well, look, and
they wouldn't sell dick of them.
Something happened. Something had to take the place of Tickle Me Elmo dolls this year.
Yeah.
So the Mattel piece of shit
been
hoverboard.
tickling little boys a little too much, hasn't he?
You know what? I really want to defend that man, but now there's more stuff coming out, and it's
these situations.
Not good.
It's such a floodgate type scenario. Happened with Tiger Woods. Happened with Michael Jackson. Happens with all of them, and it's one of those things. It's like once one person comes forward, that's kind of a litmus test with it, whether they're exonerated or they're paid off.
Right.
Now, if he's proved innocent, it usually quiets down. But if there's a out-of-court settlement, the floodgates open wide.
Oh, and he'll never hear the end
everybody
of it.
sees what everybody else. It's dollar signs at that point.
Yep.
I don't give a shit if he goes to jail. I don't give a shit if he gets in trouble. But we're going to get some money out of this.
Yep.
He touched me too.
It's going to happen.
I mean, the church is another great example of that. And not defending any of these fucking assholes for touching kids, But I'm saying this is what happens.
Yeah.
You know, nobody says shit until they can, I guess, see dollar signs at that point.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not going to end until
and
everyone
I wouldn't
gets
know
paid.
what it's like to be in that position. I've never been touched. I was an altar boy, and I probably wasn't cute enough. It's a true story.
I'm not
doing
believe
shtick. It's a true story. I was an altar boy. I was never touched. Don't know. Maybe my church was weird. Or not weird enough.
You mean maybe they were the ones that actually just did their job,
right?
And just we're trying to be fine, upstanding citizens instead of
they actually fixed the doors with the donations. Instead of the priest driving an Audi
and everything else, they just actually gave to charities and they actually gave to the homeless right.
They were the upstanding ones,
right?
None
the
of
ones
our
that
priests were
the ones that actually practice what they preach. Yeah, it's a damn shame. I hate those ones.
But yeah, that's and of course brings me to that story.
Oh man,
you've been avoiding.
You really want to talk about this?
I mean,
no. I am sorry, and I said it on Facebook already. Life and the world has taken a time out for me. I'm putting it in the corner because I can't believe the story that Mike is about to tell you right now. Because when you think like I said to you, when you think you've heard it all,
right,
and you think that there's no way there could be a news report worse than this one here, this one comes along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a continual snowballing effect of how fucked up can we be in society. Mike Wendt. Ready, go.
Wow. Good setup. the scourge of society.
If you're a scourge, I hate to see what vocab word you'd have for these people.
They well, I mean, I said it right to you. Worst parents ever. They have to be. They have to at least be in the running.
It's going to take me a while to actually think of anything worse, but yeah. Now, before you get into it, this was in, what was it, Plymouth? No.
Yeah.
But is it Plymouth, Mass, or was it Plymouth?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I want to say it's somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania just churning out some wonderful people.
They got a couple winners.
Thank you. You know, really, the only nice people I think out of Pennsylvania now are the Amish, because we just don't know what's going on with them.
But yeah, I want to say
just kidding to any Pennsylvania people who might be listening.
I want to say it's Pennsylvania somewhere. I'm not 100.
Because I was looking for
I'm
it.
Scanning right now, but
in the original report you gave me, and I know we're really building up the anticipation right now for anyone listening, but the original report you gave me, I couldn't see a state. It just said Plymouth.
I know. Well, I know they're not Massachusetts.
Okay.
I don't know where this Citizens Voice website is out of, but nevertheless, I want to say it's Pennsylvania. I want to say for some reason I read that somewhere.
Here it comes.
Hang on a second. 2 seconds. Plymouth, Pennsylvania. Yeah, it is.
Oh, dear God.
So, mother and father thought it would be a great idea to teach their son about the birds and the bees. And how these two winners were going to go about doing that was to have the young boy have sex with his mother while the father sat on the sidelines and gave pointers as they were going on.
Now, that's the brief overview of it.
That's the headline right there.
That's the headline. Now, if you go into the story, you will find out that this dates back to like 2007, I believe.
Yeah,
whatever
I mean,
it is.
The kid has told. He's testified that, I mean, when he was younger, Dad used to, pull him.
7 years old. He went on his birthday. 7 years old. Apparently, Dad, dear old Dad, brought him into another room and made him look at the computer screen and watch the movie that was on the computer screen.
Right.
And on the screen is obviously a pornographic film being watched, and he would view it with he would view different pornographic films because obviously this man had such an eclectic taste. He would view them with the kid 3 times a day, or something like that, until his 8th birthday, wherein on his 8th birthday brought him upstairs and had him have sex with his mother, apparently.
She is not a looker.
And she certainly not. But even if she, you know what, let's just state that even if she was a looker, it still does not qualify these people to do this.
Look, just because it's sexy doesn't mean it's right.
Right. I mean, you know, even if it's, you know, Sofia Vergara or something like that,
right,
you know, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't make it right.
It's kind of like blurring the line a little bit, but no, it's still not right.
She just ends up taking a better mugshot is all.
Right. That's all it is.
Right.
But the trying thing was that I couldn't. It just killed me the most about it was, first off, it wasn't a one-time thing, because apparently that went on for 4 years.
Yeah.
The kid was being homeschooled by the parents,
mm-hmm.
and it wasn't until, and they never really went into it, but somehow he was under foster care. Because,
well, that makes sense. Because
someone, I guess they had taken the kid out of the parents' custody or something. And again, this is just briefly from reading that story. The foster family had taken this kid in, and one thing led to another, and the kid had mentioned something to his foster mother about having sex with her, and she turned and said, you know, obviously, I'm not going to do that to you. Why would I do that to you? The kid explains it, and you come to find out that the kid didn't want to get the parents in trouble,
right,
type deal, but also didn't understand that it wasn't wrong. And so now it's just
a laundry list of charges.
And now this kid is 14 years old.
Now, of course, what I thought of, and I know you thought of the same thing, was the Monty Python bit from Meaning of Life.
Immediate reaction.
First thing you think of.
Okay.
The
first reaction was,
John
I can't
Cleese.
believe how terrible this is. And then the second was Monty Python.
Right. And I even said that, you know, still horrible, but a little less horrible if they had just had sex with each other and made him watch This Is How You Have Sex.
It's still
as horrible as it can ever be,
because it's still sexually abusing a child.
Absolutely. You can put every other one of those charges and just take the rape out.
Right. But you're adding that,
which still makes it horrendous. But just, I mean, you're not physically fucking with the kid.
No, it's you know, instead of having just a cake of absurdity, you just sprinkled on a dash of what the fuck on top of it.
And you know damn well, I mean, this has nothing to do with them trying to teach the kid fucking anything.
No.
This is just two sexual deviants, plain and simple. Because there's no reason that sex takes that many lessons. I'm being quite honest. Look,
I'm sorry, but that's what you took from this.
I'm serious, man. Like, I thought about it, and I'm like, because I thought about how we were going to approach this, and I think just basically talking it out is the only way to do it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I never had a birds and the bees discussion with either of my parents.
I did.
I never had that talk.
I did. I had it with my dad.
You know, I just kind of, it's not a complicated thing to figure out. This goes in here, and you do this until this happens.
Right. I mean, then
it's not a complicated. The act of sexual intercourse is not a complicated act. It doesn't take lessons, let alone years of lessons with your mother.
But that's the difference here, and that's the glaring argument against these people. They're just messed up. They're absolutely, completely,
despicable
100%
people. I mean,
fucking nutbags. And the other part in there was, you know, watching it on playback as if it was like a football coach.
Right.
You got to be kidding me.
Right.
And this guy is absolutely obviously denying it. And the woman said that, and I'm loosely quoting her, there was no way that she could have had sexual intercourse at that time because she was, one, suffering from a tailbone injury back in 2007, and two, she's 5'10", and at the time, 300 pounds.
She's just, you know, like I said,
she's still a big woman. She's not 300 pounds now. No, she's very, very homely looking.
And I love how she describes herself as a good Christian woman.
Oh yeah, no, they're. You know what? When the book comes down,
you know what this is.
When the book comes down, they're always good Christian so and so's, women, men, whatever it is. And that's the other sad thing is, like, now homeschool kids. Now they're all going to be like,
well, they've always gotten a bad rap.
They've always gotten the bad rap because it was always, you know,
they've always been the outcasts.
You're basically, you're not allowing your child to be a part of this world.
Right.
And I understand you want to, you know, there's plenty of people out there, I'm sure, that are raising their child right, homeschooling them, teaching them the right things, and they're going to be outstanding citizens.
And that's all well and good, but there's no question it doesn't come with a stigma. It comes with a stigma.
Oh yeah, no.
You know, I mean,
well, because you're that weird house that the kid never comes out of.
From somewhere. It's just the way it
come
is.
out of truth.
It doesn't mean that every single person that does it fits that stereotype, but some do.
Right. Oh,
some
absolutely.
And this is fucking prime example. This is a bit too extreme of an example, but it's an example nonetheless.
Oh, God.
But yeah.
Can we talk about something happy, please?
Yeah, we can.
Anything, please.
We can.
Can we talk about bubbles? Can we talk about teddy bears?
Sorry, yeah. This is definitely going to be the episode that everybody's going to want to take a shower afterwards if they've made it through that last segment.
If they've made it through and they still actually want to listen to episode 6, because I'm guessing maybe a listenership going to dip down.
How about we make this guarantee? If you've made it this far, no rape talk next week.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
But the week after, we're not promising anything. That's the Christmas episode.
Christmas, so there's got to be some rape talk.
Oh, come on. We're not working blue.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't work blue.
We don't work blue. Never mind the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, God.
But I guess we're something that we can wrap up on, a little bit lighter subject.
Please, can we at least wrap this show up on something?
Something that another common bond between the two of us. Peep Show came back. Now, I know. Stop. I know.
That was such an awful segue.
It's a terrible segue. But you said you wanted me to change the subject.
I know, because I love the show.
How do you downshift from rape to anything happy?
But no, I'm sorry, but the fact that you chose to segue into it with the title of the show.
I know. There's no easy way.
Yeah. All right. Let's go. I do love it.
But for those of you that are unfamiliar with Peep Show, it's a very funny, very, very funny British comedy.
Now, I want to say it's original, but I don't have any basis on it. I mean, the way it's shot is completely different from anything else that you would see.
100% point of view.
Yeah, I mean, if it's
100% point of view,
just take it as in, if you say you're having a conversation with someone up front, and up front with them, your viewpoint on the television screen is as if your head is nodding. It's
a POV.
It's so great,
and it's and the comedy in it is unbelievable.
Well,
it is such a funny show.
I think it's obviously dry because it's British.
Right.
It's very cunning. That type of humor.
It is very smart.
But it's also very everyday. Like you could.
Right.
I could have conversations like this with people.
It's relatable.
It's extremely relatable. It's funny. It's more reality based than reality based television.
Well, yeah. Because reality based is garbage. Let's be honest.
Of course.
But yeah, so they came back for their 8th season.
Yeah, because in British speak, it's series
8. Series 8. That's one of the things that I've always disliked, but I understand about British shows. They only do 6 episodes a season, so it's like before you even get into it, it's done. It's over. Yeah. But I get it. It's in order to keep the shows fresh, and it's smart. Ricky Gervais always talked about The Office being that way. That's why he did his 12 episodes and got out and never really wanted to.
Is that how they did it? Did they do 4 series then of 3 episodes apiece, or did he just do
The Office
6 and 6?
The Office was 2 episodes and a special. He did 2 episodes and then he did the Christmas special.
2 seasons.
2 series. I'm sorry, what was I saying? Episodes? 2 series and then a special for The Office.
Because obviously.
And he did the same thing with extras. It was 2 series and then the special.
Well, because I had never seen the original. I had only seen the original Office when it aired on Adult Swim.
Right.
So, I didn't get the 2 series thing.
Yeah.
It was just basically 12 episodes just jam packed into
it.
Right.
So it felt like you were watching one show.
But it was it's so great, and the British humor is just I just find it far superior. It's just funnier, and you can call me an elitist or a hipster on that stuff, but it just really is. I just relate to it better. And one of the other great ones is when I was watching, and I passed along to you, was the Steve Coogan.
What was it, Saxton?
Saxton, which was, and they only did 2 series again.
And Coogan's another one, very, very funny, and it's one of those things. It's like if you find these guys who catch on the BBC, if you follow their career, there's very few misses.
No, but the reason for it, though, and I think you've already alluded to it, is the fact that they don't allow themselves to become stale.
Right.
Like Ricky Gervais. The Office only went 2 series, so did Extras.
Right.
Coogan Saxondale only went 2. Peep Show is 8, but it's shortened episodes.
It's 8, but you know what they do again, as a fan, I really dislike it, but I understand. They take a year or 2 off.
Yeah.
You know?
But
and it's not like they're negotiating. They were already signed up for I think a 9th series.
Really?
And but they take a year off.
But in doing
they do 6 episodes, year off.
But in doing so, especially those 2 guys that do Peep Show,
right.
They also have other projects.
Oh, absolutely.
They had a few other obviously, but they had a few other series as well.
And
had, actually,
the Mitchell and Webb look.
Mitchell and Webb look, and they had the Mitchell Webb Sound, and they did a movie. The Mitchell Webb Sound was the radio show that they did. And actually, the woman that plays, what's her name?
Sophie.
Sophie is in the Hyde on Hudson, or Hudson on Hyde, whatever. The Bill Murray movie.
The Bill Murray movie. She's shown up in a few things.
She's the Queen of England.
Really?
In that movie, yeah.
Really?
Which I was watching the preview. I said, oh, good for her, because she's fantastic in that. She's a great
She's popped up in a couple of the Simon Pegg movies, too.
Oh, she did?
I know she was in Hot Fuzz.
Oh, yes, you're right.
And I want to say she was in... I've seen her pop up in a couple of things. But just... The humor level is so... And I don't even... This isn't even... I didn't even want to just shill the show out. I'm not trying to sell anybody on the show. The main point of it is... Like I said, it just came back. They're on the 3rd episode of the 8th series. I got to watch this shit on YouTube.
Yeah, because
my whole point of bringing this up was the fact that I've been saying for years that I would absolutely pay an extra charge or like a premium package or something on my cable service if I could get other countries' channels.
Well, because they have,
and I've always said, especially for hockey, with
Hockey
all the
Night in Canada,
networks in Canada, TSN, CBC, I feel shitty, but it's like I gotta watch these illegally online.
Yeah.
And I know it's like, oh, you're getting it for free, but it's like there's some things like I would have no problem paying an extra charge if I could get, they're on BBC 4 over there. If I could get BBC 4, and Jesus Christ, with the internet and satellites and all that stuff, I know it's not impossible.
No.
And I know it's a licensing thing, and I know it's never going to happen. We're never going to have those networks on.
But they have just some great programming over there. I mean, it's not even just the comedy stuff and whatnot, but I'm big into watching. There's a magician over there, Darren Brown, who does a lot of great specials, and it's not just magic stuff. It's he does a lot of debunking things and whatnot, but it's all in this programming that's over there on BBC 4 that you don't get over here. Right. And you get BBC America, but all they really play, and again, I'm a fan of Doctor Who, but they play pretty much Doctor Who and Top Gear and one other thing, and that's it.
My other problem with that is because BBC America, there was a point where they were airing Peep Show and they were airing The Office. They were editing them.
See, that's and they edit Doctor Who.
Another thing that a lot of people probably don't realize is there's not the censorship thing that we have here in America over there. Like their BBC 4 is, I guess, comparable to what like NBC, ABC here.
That's what 1, 2, and 3.
It's their major networks, but they have no censorship restrictions. Like you would hear language you would hear on HBO,
right?
So
on regular
television, but when they bring them over to BBC America, it's either beeped or just really hard chopped up.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like, and they don't even release them on DVD. Like I know The Office is out on DVD, but The Office is a very rare example that it was so huge.
Because it was such a phenomenon here.
That they couldn't help but just cash in on it. Whereas Peep Show is not, like I said, I'm sure a lot of people listening don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was shocked when you knew about it. When we were at that wedding and we started, and that was like the rest of the fucking night.
Oh yeah.
And I met this guy, an English guy. Me and Denise were at a bar one night, and we're just sitting there, and she just she chats up people. She starts chatting them up and blah 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 blah, and one thing leads to another, and I hear her go, "Well, you should talk to him," and I'm like, "Oh, what did she drag me into?" and he turns and he looks at me and goes, Peep Show? And I'm like, oh, like I had a best friend for life.
Yeah.
I still trade Peep Show quotes with a kid on Facebook.
I mean, well, and my girlfriend Danny was the same. She was the one that turned me on to a lot of this other stuff because she was the one with the Netflix, and that's the importance of Netflix.
It is on Netflix though.
And you know, her and Denise share that very same thing. They're women of the people. They're chatty. But she was spreading, you know, the news of this show.
Right.
And it was by that we started talking about it. I think you guys talked about it at the wedding. Yep. And then just more of the BBC stuff that she got me into the Saxondale, but she got me into Snuffbox, which was another British absurdity show. But it's just that type of humor you really gravitate towards, especially if you're a Python fan,
right.
which I've been since I was a kid.
Still to this day, one of my favorite TV shows is Faulty Towers.
Oh my God! Just seeing the reruns of that on PBS and stuff.
And it's one of those things. I know it's not a hard thing to say that Faulty Towers is a great show, but again, it helps that they only went 2 series.
Right.
They went 12 episodes.
Right. But that's the same thing with The Office. That's the same thing with a lot of these things. But that, in and of itself, is why Netflix is so important to us these days.
And it sucks that you can't have that option. And it's amazing, like I keep saying, in this day and age.
Well, you have technology everywhere. I mean, we were just talking about how
you can watch the show.
You can sync your phone to your car, and yet I can't watch.
It's not like I watched all 3 episodes last night.
Yeah.
They're not on Netflix. I watched them on YouTube. Well, why? Because somebody downloaded the show, loaded it up onto YouTube. It's not legal. No. And part of me kind of feels shitty because I would love to support this show.
That's the difference between you and a lot of people. I mean, I'm the same way. If they came out on DVD, I would go and buy them.
I'd absolutely buy them.
I would buy them and give that show its proper.
I would love to support
respect.
the show in some way, but I can't because, it won't hit Netflix. This series won't hit Netflix for probably a year.
Yeah. Especially with the BBC stuff.
It's hit or miss. There's another show that's on. I know it originally airs in Canada. And I know DirecTV has it, but I don't have DirecTV.
Who does?
I think Call Me Fitz.
Oh, I think.
And I'm sure you've seen. I post all the time about it, and it stars Jason Priestley as a.
I saw a preview for that.
Foul-mouthed used car salesman, a lot of like Sinatra references and stuff. And again, just an unapologetic, funny show.
I like that.
I got turned on to it through Netflix. They had the first season, which has since been taken down.
Of course.
But they've gone 3 seasons now. Netflix only had 1. How am I going to see it? I love the show. How am I going to see it? It's not available on DVD. It's not. Of course I'm going to illegally download it. How else are you going to see it?
Yar. It's pirating stuff over here.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to support the show. I'd love to buy them on DVD.
That's the other thing. Obviously, supply and demand.
It is. It absolutely
is. Always that. Although it's funny that they want to. The demand is so high for hoverboards and other things, but they don't want to. They certainly don't want to supply you with them, or ones that even work that are relatively nice priced and.
Hoverboards will be the best-selling Christmas gift of the year, but I can't get my goddamn British comedies.
I want my British comedies.
I'd rather just use YouTube.
Yeah, it's just a lot easier.
Until they get their shit together and the cable companies start talking to each other. Hey.
Which won't happen because they seem to feud as much as the NHL does
absolutely.
Over things. So
I love those commercials on AMC does it a lot. IFC is another one that does it a lot.
If you
have Dish, you're not watching this. I always find them interesting because they're not on Dish.
Why are you playing this?
And I understand that it's their only way of shit talking.
Yeah.
But I don't have Dish. I don't have DirecTV.
Right. I'm seeing this commercial.
I'm watching this, and the fact that I'm watching this, it's like the old "if you lived here, you'd be home."
Right.
It's just stating the fucking obvious.
Yeah.
You're watching this. That means you're not supporting the person we don't like. We'll never learn.
Well, I had fun today.
I did too. Kind of.
Yeah.
Got a little weird there in the middle.
It's okay.
It's all right.
If you've made it this far, thank you very much.
Thank you for listening. Seriously,
for continuing to listen.
I promise we'll be a little bit more. We'll have a couple more happier subjects.
We'll drink a lot more eggnog before we do next week's show.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, thank you for listening. As always, fifth episode.
And by the way, we do have a Facebook page out there.
Yes, we do.
So click like on that and let us know what you'd like us to discuss on this here program. Because
you can like, you can comment, you can
tell us we suck.
Subscribe. Absolutely. Tell us we suck. Tell us to stop talking about rape. We'll probably take that advice.
Oh, we will absolutely.
I think I'm going to write that on our Facebook page. Hey, stupid, stop talking about rape.
This will be the last rape show.
But thank you. If you got all the way through it, thank you for listening to another episode. Absolutely. Subscribe to the channel, follow the channel, like the Facebook page. They got an app, the Spreaker app. It's Spreaker. Spreaker for Android, iPhone, iPad, so you can take us with you. Download it, listen to the car.
We like to travel.
We do. Like I said, thank you. We'll be back here next week. Mike Wendt.
Billy Finnegan.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.